So welcome to our first online class of this month. And I'm just going to share some slides so we can have a bit more of a visual. Right, so what we're going to be doing this evening, the way this is going to run is that I'll be sharing a few key points, some key information. The main aim of this evening is for you to go away thinking, I am ready to get started with my dōTERRA journey and ready to get started with this new natural way of looking after me and my loved ones. So let's dive straight in. So what I wanted to first highlight is that and actually I don't think I even need to highlight this at the moment, but the reason why we need essential oils in our home and why we need dōTERRA essential oils in our home is because we can see that there is a bit of a dilemma in terms of our lifestyle and what it's creating for us. And so this is just the reality that we're kind of dealing with around us, particularly this one here. That is something that we can really do something about. Because there is another way other than just having more and more resistance to the antibiotics that we are kind of bombarded with, whether we're taking them or not through our food and things like that. So this is why I wanted to kind of give you a little reality check, so we can just remind ourselves that we know, and often lots of you won't need much of a reminder because it's around us all the time. Now this is one of my favorite parts about this, is that we have choices that are available to us when we have these natural remedies in our hands. Now, if we look at the modern approach, and I say this kind of loosely, the modern approach is that we are really focusing on symptoms. And so we look at what the symptoms are, then we are usually prescribed, or we go and get synthetic agents that have been created to manage those symptoms, that are produced by people and labs, etc. And we know that every single one of them has side effects of some kind. And usually it's a case of managing what the side effect is compared to what the intended outcome is. And that's kind of how we tend to be. That's our healthcare approach in general for most people. Now, we know that if we only deal with the symptoms, then the root cause of the issue remains. And this is something that I've experienced for me personally when I had some quite major health challenges. And I was in a real tricky situation that I couldn't look after my children. I couldn't really walk very well. And so consequently suffered from depression. Now, the root cause of that was my health issues. But what I was then given was antidepressants. Now, if we can resolve the root cause, which we now have, those symptoms went away. And so that's really what I'm talking about. If we can really deal with the root cause, then we'll be able to get rid of the symptoms. And that's what the natural or holistic approach is about. The natural and holistic approach is about addressing the body's needs so that then the symptoms go away on their own a lot of the time. It's using plant extracts that actually enhance our body's ability to heal itself. We are an incredible machine. My background is I have a degree in human biology and sports science, and we are an incredible machine. So we really are very well designed. And so if we can use this plant medicine, then our body can really do a good job of looking after itself and healing itself. And it's safe without any side effects. And that is what is so exciting. And also, if we look at the cost, particularly for our economy, and this is very topical right now, it costs $6.5 trillion a year globally on healthcare. Like, that's a huge budget. Imagine what we could do if that number was reduced, and where that money could then be better used. So we can use something that's much more cost effective, as much as for our bodies as for our pockets. So I want to share 3 key things about essential oils, and then I will tell you how you can use them, and then share with you how you can get them into your home. So the first key thing about essential oils is that they are 100% natural and safe. And that means that they have no side effects. You will not become addicted, although you may develop a habit, but you will not have a chemical addiction to them. They are all extracted from plants, and so we get to use some of the incredible benefits that plants already have that they use for themselves, for ourselves. And so if we are comparing this to herbs, using things like tinctures, or lots of people do use herbs for healing as well. Those people who already use plant medicine, these are 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. If you think of how much dried herb you'd be able to fit in a little bottle, compared to how many plants you would need to squeeze the juice out of, let's say the juice as in the aromatic compounds, which is the essential oil, it's much more, it's a much bigger volume of plant. And that's why these are so much more powerful. Now here you can see a bit of a graph of the essential oils that are around us, that are on the market. The vast majority of essential oils that we come across are synthetic, which means that they have no plant substance in there. They have been created as opposed to extracted, and they're not going to have therapeutic benefits. They might be able to mimic the smells, often I would say quite poorly, but they have some version. Often things like lavender or tea tree are very, very commonly mimicked by synthetic versions. And we know that there's often a buzzword around it, that lavender means relaxation. So that means it's very common for that to be used. Then you have your food grade ones that are often in our food without people even knowing about it as a flavoring, or used as a preservative as well. Then you've got the therapeutic grade essential oils. So these ones are the ones that you would come across in a spa, for example, or in some sort of therapeutic clinic, and they would maybe use essential oils to relax you or to do a massage, and that can have some benefit to that as well. And we do definitely feel relaxed in those circumstances. Then you've got this little proportion where it's called certified pure therapeutic grade. Now that's the closest that we get to medicinal essential oils, and this is how we use them. We use these as our medicine cabinet. And so what dōTERRA want to achieve and have achieved and are continuing to achieve is to be the most tested and most trusted. So when it comes to their testing, they go way overboard. So they test every single batch, and on the bottom of each batch, you'll be able to see a batch number. So if any of you have your bottles, if you have one already, you can look under that batch number and you'll be able to get the chemical report for that batch of essential oils, not just that type of essential oil, but that batch, which is incredible. That information is not available from any other company that I know of, and we've used essential oils since I was a little girl. So that information is so that we can really trust what they are telling us. So there's two aspects to this. There's purity, which means nothing else that shouldn't be in there, and there's potency. Potency means that it's extracted in the right way at the right time when it's reached its full maturity, so that we can really have the greatest benefits. And that's what we're looking for, the combination of the two. If you have a bottle of peppermint or a sample of peppermint, this one is incredible for highlighting quite how potent they are. So put a little drop on your hand, rub your hands together, take some deep breaths in. I forgot to grab my my bottles before I sat down. So put some on your hand and take some deep breaths in. Remember to close your eyes because you don't want them to be getting into your eyes. If you have done that, totally comment how you're feeling and share this with everyone else who's on there as well, because we'd love to hear. It's one of my favorite things to do, like mid-afternoon, where you could quite happily go to bed and need an extra boost. The second key thing about essential oils, about these essential oils, are that they are more effective than many over-the-counter medication. Now, this is one of my favorite things about these oils. Maybe it's because I'm a little bit geeky and I like the science behind it, but I love that they can do things that over-the-counter medication just cannot achieve. So on this diagram, you can see here, you've got this blob here is a bacteria. And what bacteria do is that they live on the outside of the cells. So they swim around the cells. So when we take or when we're given antibiotics, they are water soluble. So they'll be very effective at getting rid of this bacteria. And that they will do a really good job of that. All the good and the bad and the ugly bacteria, they'll totally take care of it. And because that's what they're designed to do. Now, if you have a viral infection or a virus that is in your body, it lives inside the cell, which is why antibiotics are not effective for that, because they will not be allowed. There's a barrier here. This cell membrane is a barrier to those substances that are not meant to be inside the cells. And so it will not allow the antibiotics to come in and touch the virus. So the virus continues to happily duplicate infecting more and more cells, and passing along more and more people. And so if you can stop that virus from duplicating, then you are really able to kill it. Our body is, again, incredible machines. They're very good at killing things that shouldn't be in our bodies. So all of your immunity, your immune cells, very good at destroying something that shouldn't be in there. But sometimes it takes our body a little bit of time to catch up, especially if we're tired, we don't have a good enough nutrition, we're not getting enough sleep, we're a bit stressed, our stress hormones are high. All of those things will contribute to our immune cells being a bit more sluggish and a bit slower to act. So if we can stop the virus, then our body will be able to catch up much more easily and then destroy the cells that are infected. And that is where we stop the symptoms. So if you can catch a virus within the first day, so as soon as you start feeling your glands are up, or you feel a scratchy throat, or whatever it is that indicates to you that you're starting to be under the weather, if you can get some oregano and some tea tree, also called melaleuca, what I like to do is I like to put it in a little shot glass of water, kind of warm water, 1 drop of each, gargle for as long as I can, and then swallow it. Usually by the next morning it's completely cleared and completely gone, and I know that I can then carry on. And what I've done is I've stopped that from duplicating. My body is caught up overnight and I'm clear. For children or for more sensitive people, you would put that in a carrier oil, rub it under the soles of the feet, and you'll repeat that as often as needed. Usually every hour is what I tend to do for my children under their feet. And these have been incredible for us. We've been able to clear some really strong viruses that tend to come back and come back and come back. And we've been able to get rid of them and they haven't come back. And that's been amazing for us as a family, just to be able to have that power at our fingertips. So essential oils can permeate through that cell membrane because they're essential oils and they're much smaller. Nature makes things much smaller than men do, and they're able to actually do that. So very, very, very effective. The third key thing, and I'm totally going to be asking you to comment, who's going to be the first person to comment what the 3 key things are, that didn't already know them. The third key thing is that they are incredibly cost effective. Now this is very much linked to their potency, because if they were not as potent, it would take much more essential oil to be able to achieve what we want to achieve. You can see in this price per drop breakdown that we're talking pennies per drop and not that many pennies. So if we're looking at some of the uses of these, if you have head tension, for example, the one I would reach for would be peppermint, putting a drop of peppermint across my forehead, on the back of my neck, or a drop on the roof of my mouth. That's a fantastic one for that as well. Or if I've got respiratory discomfort, or difficulty breathing, then the breathe, also called air, 9 pence per drop, that's totally achievable. And so I know that I can achieve these things with a few drops at a time. Or you've got the lemon is a brilliant one, because we use so much of that lemon, because I just drink it in my water all the time. So it's 4 pence per drop. We can totally do that. Even if we're drinking 10 glasses in a day, that's cost us 40 pence. So it's pretty, you can see what I'm trying to get to, that it really does cost us pennies per dose. So we're saving so much money and time by using these essential oils to look after our families. So I love this aspect. So for those of you who are new on this evening, I would love the first person to tell me what the 3 key things about essential oils, and we have a few things to give away. So go for it on the chat. I will check in later. I'll be able to see who's won that one. So we've got the 3 key things about these essential oils. Now I want to tell you 3 ways to use them. The first way, and one of my favorite ways, is aromatically. And the reason I love this is that you can put it in your diffuser and then forget about it. And this means it can be affecting the whole family, or everyone in the room without them even knowing. They're just benefiting from these oils without even knowing about it. And so it's also particularly effective for affecting our mood. So when you breathe something in, and this has been evidenced now, it used to be accepted by other older communities, now it's accepted by the scientific community because they've researched it. biologists have caught up. And so we know that now essential oils can massively affect our emotions through the olfactory nerve, which comes up here, and then directly links to the limbic system, which is in the center of the brain, right behind here, in the center of the brain. And that is what processes our emotions, our smells, and our memories. And so you can see the power already that if you're smelling something and it's affecting the chemistry of that part of your brain, you're changing your emotional balance as well. So the chemistry, everything in our body is chemistry, absolutely everything. So our emotions, our immune system, our digestive system, all of it's chemistry. So if we can change things with chemistry for a positive thing, then we're onto a winner. So it can really affect our mood in a positive way. Wild oranges are one of my favorites. It's like my sunshine in a bottle. It's incredible for if you're feeling a little bit anxious about things or a little bit low. This one is beautiful. Just put a drop on your hand, rub your hands together and take some deep breaths. Absolutely wonderful. The other one that we use a lot in the diffuser is this one called On Guard. It's called the Protective Blend, and it's brilliant at cleansing the air, cleansing airborne pathogens, so all the nasties that are kind of in the air, someone's coughing or sneezing, and they come into your home, and On Guard is a good one to put on at that point. So my son, who's now 8, he was asking me about it because I put it in the diffuser in the children's bedrooms a lot at night time, particularly over the winter period. And he said, so is it On Guard? Is it called On Guard because it's like a force field around us? And I thought that's such a wonderful description of what it does. Essentially, it's helping us to have a strong immune system so that we have like a force field around us to protect ourselves. Our body, again, is so capable of protecting itself if we give it the correct tools. So really, really effective, again, for supporting the respiratory system, clear airways, not difficulty breathing and things like that, which is particularly helpful for issues like snoring. Not that I suffer from that at all. So the second way of using it is topically. So what this means is by applying it to our skin. Now, the benefit of doing this is that we can really target the application to go where the source of the pain or the issue is. So if we've got an injury to our shoulder, for example, then we will put the essential oil. Deep blue would be the one I would put on. Deep blue, maybe copaiba, would be the one I would dilute and put on my shoulder and rub it on site. So I'm getting localized benefits at the point where I'm wanting it to be. We usually tend to dilute when we're doing topical application, but there are some essential oils like frankincense and lavender, for example, that can be used neat as well. Obviously not for children. We would always dilute it for children or babies, or the very old or the very young, we would dilute all essential oils for. But that will be able to be as a guideline in your usage app that you'll be able to get with your account. So this is one of the ones that we do also use topical application, not just for pain, but also for things for children, particularly when they can't necessarily take it internally. So we'll put it under their feet, for example. So I would never get my children to gargle oregano, for example. I would put it under the soles of their feet because the skin is less sensitive. So there's less chance of irritation, but they're still getting all of the benefits of that incredibly powerful antiviral essential oil through their feet. And so that has been incredibly beneficial. And actually we've been able to clear some pretty nasty viruses like tonsillitis, for example, within 48 hours. Kind of started on Monday morning, and by Wednesday my son was back at school. No sign of a temperature and absolutely no problem at all. So these are very, very powerful, and so that topical application can be super effective for clearing some of those nasties as well. The third way to use them is internally. And I mentioned already that lemon is one of the ones that we use a lot because it's super cleansing. So there's different ways of taking them internally. You can just drop it in your water. So there's a picture here that you can see dropping it in a glass bottle. So you would only ever put your essential oils in a glass or stainless steel bottle because they break down plastic. And that obviously is not going to be beneficial to us to be drinking something with extra plastic in it. So the other thing that you can do is these are called veggie caps, and they are empty capsules where you can drop your drops of essential oil in there so that you don't necessarily have to taste them and get all of the benefits from them. Or you can drop it directly under your tongue. Now, the benefit of taking them internally is that they can target things from the inside. They can cleanse us from the inside, and that's why lemon, particularly all of the citrus oils, are wonderful for taking internally, as well as being able to help us to curb our sweet cravings by having a little flavour, but without having any of the nasties that can sometimes come in things that we would flavour our water with. Now, this is, I want to just a bit of caution here. We do not do this with any oils other than dōTERRA. Please don't go away and go and get essential oils from any other place and go and drop them in your water and drink them, because you could really do a lot of harm, because there are so many other things in our essential oils, in other essential oils. So please don't go and do that. It would be very dangerous. So this is most importantly a safety aspect, so don't go and do that with other oils. The other way that I take this internally a lot is through their supplements. So this is a set of supplements that they've combined with essential oils. It's their most successful product, the one that they sell the most of, their top selling product, because it has had so much impact on so many long-term or chronic conditions and chronic health concerns, and because it is able to support each part of the body. So if I just highlight some of the aspects of these three parts to it, the food nutrient complex, which is the Microplex MVZ, that one is the ones that we tend to be used to, the vitamin A, B, K, the folate, all of these vitamins and minerals that we know are depleted in our food. So no matter how well we eat, we're not getting quite as much, vitamins and minerals as we would have been getting in our food maybe 50 or 100 years ago. So things we know are changing with overuse of the ground and agricultural practices. So it's a brilliant one. Now, the big and most important part about all of these parts of this vitamin is that just like our essential oils, they're extracted from food. They are not created in a lab. They are extracted from food so that they are absorbable, because what we're designed and what our systems are designed to take is nutrition, it's food. That's what we're designed to get our vitamins and minerals from. And so that's what these supplements are. They are food substances. And so that's the vitamin and mineral one. So this one is like your nutrition support. The second one, or the alpha CRS, this purple one, is the cellular vitality complex. This one is your antioxidants. So you've got your boswellia, you've got your milk thistle extract, you've got your coenzyme Q10, you've got some of those substances that we know are incredible. Your turmeric root, we know that they're incredible. We know that maybe for a week we might put them in our smoothies and really have good intentions, but we might not quite manage to integrate them into our daily diet. And what this does is it supports our cellular health. Now, an antioxidant, what an antioxidant is something that captures free radicals. So with the aging process, just the normal aging process, free radicals are released. And what antioxidants do is that they capture them so that the free radicals don't bounce around and create damage. And that's what we're looking to do. So superfoods and antioxidants are so good for us. They help with our energy. They help with inflammation. They help with just general healthy immunity. So these are really, really incredible substances to be taking on a daily basis. The third part is the Z omega, and that's omega-3s, our fatty acids, and 9 essential oils. So these are fish oils. There's a fish oil version and there's a vegan version. And this is our brain food. So most of our brain is made up of fatty acids. And so if we are feeding ourselves with fatty acids, then we know that we're going to be contributing to good brain activity. We also know that omega-3s are very, very supportive of our gut health and our immune health. And we know that the essential oils that are in there, things like frankincense, clove, are very, very supportive for our energy, for our cellular health. These are the ones that allow us, our cells, to function at their best. So if you haven't already tried these, or if you haven't heard about these, there's a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. So if you have something chronic going on, this was one of the things that massively contributed to me getting back on track with my health. And it was a huge, huge part of it. So if you have something that's chronic going on, to me, having been in that position, there is nothing worth my health. So we made all sorts of sacrifices to be able to go and get treatments from certain people, to go and see certain consultants, to be able to get some of these products so that I could get better. So please don't value other things beyond your health, particularly if you have something chronic going on, because it's just nothing comes close to your full health. So you can see some of the things that these can help with, but it's an absolutely incredible product for supporting general health and well-being, things like fatigue or energy, digestive issues, pain issues. You can see where I'm getting to. So this is time for another little giveaway. So if someone can name what the 3 ways of using essential oils, who this is the first time coming on here, then you also get something, win a little prize as well. So now get to the part where you can find out how to get these oils. So as promised, there's different ways for you to get them. The first way is retail. It's the most expensive way, so we don't really recommend it, but it is available. So we're just going to skip past that one. The second way is wholesale, and this is one of the best ways to get it. It means you're getting 25% below retail, kind of like a Costco membership. It means that you're getting everything at that wholesale price. It costs £24 for the membership, and then you access all of the products for a year at 25% off. After a year, there is a £15 renewal fee, and they send you a bottle of peppermint, which is worth £16. So they offset that membership renewal fee. So that's a fantastic way. You can set up a wholesale membership and then choose the products that you would like. By far the best way is below wholesale. This is the one that we would like to draw more attention to. And that's by getting, it's a better saving rate as well, is by getting one of the starter kits. And this waives the £24 fee, so that you're just getting as much as you can for your money, and then the wholesale membership is included. So this is what I'm going to share with you. This is now where you can have a look at which one will be the best kit for you. Now I've kind of highlighted this evening some of the uses of some of these oils. I want to just highlight a few others. This one is the Zengest. So Zengest, or Digest Zen as it is written on here, is for everything digestion related. So everything from here to the other end that can go wrong, Digest Zen or Zengest can really support it. So cramping and bloating, or any sort of stomach discomfort, or sluggish or too fast digestive system, this can really, really support to bring it back into balance. So you can kind of see where you've got a blend, you've got 4 blends and 6 singles. This is designed to be able to support 90% of ailments that come your way. So when we look up in our books, in the reference guides, there will be an oil in there that will be able to help. One of these 10 oils will be on that list pretty much all the time. And that's why it's such a good place to start. The other one I wanted to mention, this is the one that supported me during some of my the trickier times emotionally, was the frankincense. What frankincense does is it really supports your mood, so it's a real natural mood lifter. It's also very good for your brain function because it supports the left and right side of the brain connections. And again, cellular health, so things like fine lines and wrinkles, not that they have any of those. But frankincense is a great one to be applying to your face as well. So I just wanted to highlight some of the key ones that we haven't really mentioned in as much detail. So this is what we call the Home Essentials Kit. So it comes with those 10 oils and the diffuser, and includes your wholesale membership. This is my favorite kit out of all of them, because you get such good value for your money. So it's £239 for those 10 oils. Now this one is the Family Essentials Kit, the same set of 10 oils, but they are 5ml bottles. So if you look at this, 15ml bottles, so you're getting 250 drops in each bottle here. And then in these bottles, you have 5ml bottles, so you're getting about 85 drops in each of those bottles. So in terms of cost value, you can see that the Home Essentials Kit is about twice the price for 3 times as much oil, so much better value. But they are the same set of 10 oils, there's just no diffuser with this one either. So they are the 2 main kits, and this is where I would suggest a good starting point for most people is one of those 2 sets, and then other things can be added on to that to suit your needs. And so the person who introduced you to this class will be able to help you to choose which one would be best. Now there's a few specials this month, and one of them is that you, with any order, any sign up order over 100 PV, you will get a free bottle of cedarwood. And the other one is this 50 points promo. What this means is that you will get 50 points added to your account at the beginning of April, just for free, just because that's the special offer for this month. And then you get to spend those points in any way you want to. So you can get 2 or 3 oils, depending on which oils you're getting, using those 50 points, and you can just pick whatever you would like. So it's a really, really lovely promotion, and one I would definitely encourage taking advantage of. So that's this month's specials. Now, you don't just get left to your own devices. There is a huge amount of support, and you start off with being able to have your own wellness consultation, or your own, you will first be introduced to the group consultation as to how to get started with your oils, and you will also have the individual consultation with the person who's introduced you to this. And so we're really supporting you. This is a lifestyle change. This is a lifestyle kind of override. So we can really support you to make this a real difference in your health and well-being using these essential oils. So that's the first part, helping you to use the resources that we can show to you as well. This is also a gift that we have for you for when you choose to get started. So as soon as you've got your account, we send you this usage app for free. That's normally paid for, but we give it to you for free, and this kind of gives you the outline on how to use each of the oils that you've got. We also have a continued education program that we run online, so you can take part in that, that we will share with you with your welcome pack. And then we've got this lovely oil community where there's so many people, lots of lovely oilers, who are here to support you and answer any questions that you might have as you go along. That's also a lot of the time where we do the continued education as well. So you can see that this is really a lovely package. You're not just left on your own to figure things out. Now, usually when we have these kind of classes, or when you've been to one of these kind of classes, we have 3 types of people. We have the first type of person who is just so excited to start living this wellness, natural wellness lifestyle, and just wants to jump in. And that's a wonderful place to be, is to get started and dive into it. Then we have the second type of person who thinks, I could definitely think of quite a few people who could really benefit from these essential oils, and dōTERRA can reward them for doing that. So dōTERRA can reward you for choosing to share these oils with the people around you, choosing to support the people you care about in this natural way as well. So this is something else that is available to you. Then the third type of person is someone who just thinks, I love everything that we've just talked about, everything that dōTERRA stands for, and I could see this being an additional source of income, or even replacing my income. I want to build a business with this, and that's certainly an incredible opportunity. And so If you are this second or third type of person, then definitely let myself or whoever you introduce you to this class know about that, and they'll be able to give you some more information. So I'm going to pause for a second and just pause the recording, open up for any questions, and then in a couple of minutes I will then be able to share a little bit more information for those of you who are interested in the business side of it. So be able to just find out a little bit more about how the business works and what this opportunity looks like. So I'm just going to pause for a second, and then pause the recording. All right, here we go.